My role is to engage the agriculture community and share information and knowledge around sustainable agriculture. I also manage the Farming Forecaster project, which is one of our major projects that we're working with primary producers across Tasmania. Farming Forecaster is a tool that's been around for a number of years. I first became aware of this tool when I was engaging with the East Coast Primary Producers Association. Farming Forecaster is something they wanted to see in Tasmania to help them manage through drought. What Farming Forecaster has done is respond to what producers want and automate that information and have it all in one place on an online platform. It tells you what your current growing conditions are like at the moment through a soil moisture probe and rain gauge. And that gives you a sense of what the moisture holding capacity of the soil is. The second part is a forecast, which basically gives producers an idea of how much grass they're going to grow over a season for the next 3 to 4 months.
The pasture forecast is the grass grow model, and that's been developed out of the CSIRO over the last 3 decades. So it's had a long history in being used by advisors and researchers, but now we've really opened it up to farmers. We're really happy with how it's rolled out in Tasmania. Obviously there was initial grassroots support almost from the farmers that really wanted to bring it into Tassie in the first place, but then the NRM bodies have really come on board, secured funding. We've been able to refine and develop some of the modelling that we do that will suit Tasmanian conditions, particularly Tasmanian pasture species, which is always really important.
Farming Forecaster is a practical tool that we can use every day of the year, any year. And it's really hard for governments to help people in dry times and out of dry times. It's just really hard to find projects that make a difference. And this one actually does make a difference.
It's something that doesn't tell you what you should be doing. It gives you just another piece of information and then helps you, it gives you confidence in making better decisions. The key for this one is the actual cost. It's actually really relatively cheap compared to a lot of other technology. It's very accurate, which is good.
This is probably one of the best products that I'm aware of that NRM's put out because it makes it simple and easy to look at, a way that we can use it at both looking for poorer seasons, looking forward, managing droughts in the future and being able to move before it's too late so we're not in dire straits, and also taking advantage of the good seasons and seeing where you're at.
We had the funding to not just put the probes in the ground and develop the farming systems which give you the forecast. We developed a comprehensive extension program to provide training in the tool. So running those workshops and training was really important for people to familiarise themselves with how it all works. We also added in the mix some supportive tools. So Farming Forecasters, the red flag, how the season's going. Something like Stock Plan, which we rolled some training out for and gave people free use of that New South Wales DPI program. And then we provided a bit more support to the containment feeding effort in Tassie. We work with the Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture to look at how producers are using this information, but also what they wanted to see from a drought tool. The social research is a really valuable component of the tool. Not only does it give us insights into what producers' motivations are, how they value the tool, and how we might be able to improve things in the future. Farming Forecaster is one of many drought tools, but we feel it's a really powerful way of helping farming communities manage through drought and prepare earlier.
Supporting producers to make the right decisions, not only the right decisions, but making them in time, has a big influence on their exposure to supplementary feeding, animal health, the supply of good quality products. Being able to get access to real-time information spread over a relatively broad geographical area is fantastic. I work throughout Tasmania, and when I go and visit a client, we want information that's relative to that specific area. So the soil moisture information is fantastic, the pasture growth rate information is fantastic, and essentially it's real time and we can access it remotely. It's a great investment, and I think it's new technology. We're only really coming to grips with how valuable this stuff is right now.
The best thing we can do for mental health of producers is helping them be more confident in their decision making. So what's the key thing in drought? It's minimising the amount of money you lose and still keeping your business profitable to produce straight after. Just to see that impacted and that profitable, sustainable commercial farms are being run, that gives me a lot of joy, and I just hope it continues. It will if we keep producing quality, producer-driven products.
For us, it opens the farm gate for a conversation for us to have about the long-term natural resource management opportunities that sit in farms. So it gives us the opportunity, once we're talking to farmers about farming forecaster, to also talk about soil health, or to also talk about biodiversity or trees on farms. The fact that we've gone out and we've listened, we've understood, and we've been informed enough to be able to navigate our project strategy in a way that works for farmers and for the community.
None of this would be possible to deliver this sort of, particularly this statewide approach, without drawing on the expertise and networks of all our partners and collaborators. The Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture have been fundamental in helping us develop the model to improve the data for Tasmanian conditions. So that's an extra element of the project which just gives more relevant information to Tasmanian growers on some pasture species. NRM North have been critical for pretty much all of the aspects, including our extension with farmers in northern Tasmania. The Derwent Catchment Project have been really important for us, working with them to help them develop their original containment feeding initiative. So when we set up the pilot project a few years ago, we didn't really envisage that we were going to be doing a statewide rollout of farming forecasters. I'm really proud of the fact that we've managed to engage the primary producers across Tasmania, more than 150 producers in 9 regions of Tasmania, including King Island and Flinders Island, in this work. I'd like to see a wider community of farmers using farming forecaster across Tassie. It's been extremely rewarding. We're engaging communities that we haven't engaged with before. We've received really positive response from every region that we've had farming forecaster in.
I couldn't fault how Tim's approached this. It's been very much a practical tool for people who are at the coalface of dealing with rainfall variability. It just makes us better at what we do, make a better decision, not get in the hole too far. And it was massive in Tasmania. I think it's great.